Okay, so I have tried to film this video so many times, and every time it doesn't come out how I want to, and I've just decided that I don't care if it's perfect or not. I don't care if it's ugly and the lighting is all over the place. I don't care if I'm like a face and you can't see my body and it doesn't, whatever. I really want to, like, I'm having like the worst hair day ever. But I want to share this video because it's been so long since I've talked to you guys, and I want it to feel real. Like, I filmed videos before when I was still working through a lot of things, and it didn't come out right because I was still working through things. And then I filmed videos since that, like now that I feel a bit better, but they just feel like I filmed one recently and it just felt too perfect. Like my hair was done and all these things, and you know, I just felt like I didn't give off the emotion that I wanted to give. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel like a catch-up conversation. It felt like a curated conversation. I didn't want that. And so even though this video might be hard to watch because it's, I don't know, it's like way too bright and you can't see anything around me, so it's not that interesting. This is what you're getting because I want it to be authentic and I want to share where I've been and for you and I to catch up, like, for real. So in case you are wondering where I am, I'm in Indonesia. I'm in Bali. We'll talk about how I got here, but yeah. So I'm literally on a couch in like a random abandoned banana field or something. No, I just want to get out. I want to finish this video. So let's finish it. So basically, coming back from Emirates, there was no financial stability. I left Canada to take this opportunity that I thought would be really beneficial. You know, Emirates pays really well, no matter how the controversy is regarding its staff. I don't think they would be able to have their business model of telling people what to do and stuff if they didn't pay really well. So I thought going there, I would go, you know, travel the world, live my dream, create content, make a lot of money, and then come back to Canada. A lot of girls who go to Emirates have this dream, right? If you have, you know, some stability in your economy and stuff, that's probably your dream. But Emirates was also very eye-opening for me because a lot of people go to the UAE, to Dubai, for the reason of building stability for their country, for their family in a less developed country. So, you know, women go for their families and maybe even leave their babies or their kids behind, or their families behind, to make money to send back home to their families. You know, because people join Emirates from every country in the world. And so the economic reality of going to Emirates, seeing people with all kinds of passports, seeing people from all walks of life. In Dubai, you know, Dubai is built on people who make very little and serve people who make a lot, or people who have a lot and are making the most of that wealth. It's a very economically interesting place to be. And so just all of these factors, like being in Dubai, seeing the different wealth classes, going to Thailand, seeing, you know, how people live on very little but are very happy, and then coming back to Canada and having nothing. I feel like it was life teaching me a lot about foundations and money. And when I came back to Canada, I had nothing. So I had no job, I had no place to live, so I went with family. And my family and I butt heads a lot. I mean, that's a whole video in and of itself, to be honest. And I feel like I spent so many months healing from the pain of that because I'm a really family-oriented person. Like, I love my people who are around me. Like, if you are around me, it is because I want to be loving you. You know, I only have good vibes to share and so it stresses me out if people are around me and they don't have good vibes and I can't love them, because then my like factory settings like reset and I don't know what to do because I want to love the people around me. My family and I don't get along very well sometimes, and it's its own story. as an eldest daughter of like immigrant parents, like I'm sure many of you can relate, can imagine how it is. Also, if you grow up in a country that your parents don't grow up in, if you're a third culture kid, often you have different mindsets from your parents. You know, like your parents come to, my parents at least came to Canada with their own mindsets from their own countries. And there's, you know, different communication styles, there's different values, there's different points of view when this happens. And so my goal in this video is not to make my story about how my family doesn't support me or how I hate them or whatever. Like I don't want any animosity in my life. I don't want any fighting in my life. I just want progress and I want love. And if they don't understand me, you know, that's a decision because I'm very easy to understand. I think. I'm very easygoing. I'm very resilient. I'm very like peaceful. I'm a big pacifist. Okay, if you're in a relationship with me, like peace is always on the table. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's just it doesn't work so well, and it was very toxic. So I had to make a decision on what to do because my mental health was going down the drain. Like when I came back, I was very miserable. I was very sad. You know, I had left the sun and the sunshine of Thailand and Dubai to come to Canada in the cold winter months where there's no sun and, you know, I'm in conflict with my family. And ultimately, because it was such a toxic relationship, my family kicked me out. It was kind of mutual because we were really not getting along, but I had nothing. And I was between homes for 6 months of the year. From January to July, I had nowhere to live, and I just lived at friends' houses because I had really great friends. So I think that there's always, if you're following your journey, if you're following your path, there's always a way for you to be okay. If you're genuinely on the right track, life will make sure you're fine. And that's the only way I can explain the first 6 months of 2024, because I was following what life wanted me to do all along. It just had taken me a long time to do it. So I think that's also why I wasn't freaking out. I wasn't scared. I had concerns. Like I was like, what am I going to eat? Do I have money for food for the foreseeable future? I was making money through modeling, but modeling can be pretty inconsistent. You know, like you make $2,000 here, $2,000 there. And in Canada, that can only go so far. I was trying to have a business. I was trying to make my dream of being a digital nomad with her own company come true. But that has its limitations when you have no house, you know, no address. And so my concerns became a lot more immediate. So I got a stable 9-to-5. Eventually, like 4 months in, I got a stable 9-to-5 and I started to slowly, bit by bit, kind of reclaim some stability. I started with therapy. I started with mental stability. And then physical health. You know, I started going to yoga because if you don't have your health, you have nothing, I think. And then eventually got an apartment in Montreal because my company that I was working for has the headquarters there. And, you know, nothing was tying me to Toronto anymore. It's where I grew up and where I live most of my life. But I felt that I'm stepping into a new era, a new creative era. And so I dyed my hair kind of red and I moved to Montreal, which is a creative city in Canada. It's a very artsy city. And it felt like more my vibe. You know, we're stepping into a creative, independent, flourishing, expressive era, let's say, where we're not scared to be ourselves and to stand for what we actually stand for. Living in Montreal, I met amazing people. I knew 2 people when I moved there, and I had been there once. But I made amazing friends. A lot of really cool French people, really cool artsy people. And then I also moved to like an area that was like really good food. Like it's called Le Plateau. And in the Plateau there's like lots of great like pâtisserie, like croissant, like all the French baked goods. And as you can imagine, like I wasn't feeling so good. So I was like really sad and eating a lot of croissants to feel better. A lot of bagels. Montreal bagels are really good, but I don't think you're supposed to eat them like twice a day for like weeks at a time. But yeah, so I moved to Montreal, and shortly after moving to Montreal, I got fired. I got fired, which, as you can imagine, was horrendous, because that was my stability. I was like just starting to feel stable again. And to be honest, like obviously my corporate job was not my dream, to be doing this thing that I had left to be a flight attendant years ago. But it was stable, and I was starting to get comfortable in that stability. Like I had a little I was like looking at couches and like, looking at like, how to build savings over time, and feeling like, okay, like maybe maybe I'll settle for this. Unconsciously, to be honest, I was tired of going from place to place and running and being like, is my creative dream not worth it? Like, this is a house, this is a couch, like maybe I should just stop. And then life was like, nope. Life wanted me to go for it for real. Like, you did not go through all of that to just settle for couch admin life. So life was like, you're fired again, so have fun with that. And I was like, cool, let's freak out, because to be honest, after 6 months of the year of not having a place to live, my nervous system was not well. And going to finally getting my own place, to then lose that place, like, on the one hand, I was very sure of what was happening. Because, again, my soul was like, you were getting too comfortable, you didn't go for your dream, this is life pushing you to go for the right thing. And then, on the other hand, my body was like, but I need a house and money, and stop making me move, and stop making me do things, because I'm tired now. The physical part of me was exhausted of having no place to live and losing everybody I loved. Like, losing your family when you love and are a family-oriented person, even if they were not good for you, even if someone is not good for you, if you love them, you can still feel physical heartbreak when you lose them. Like, if you are in a relationship with somebody and you love them, your heart feels the sadness of that. And like, it was physically painful. Like, I would like literally go like this, because my heart was like, I didn't know how I would go on, how I would continue to love or even ever love again when you lose your family. I think I'm just gonna like be the crying lady on the internet now. But I was very sad. And obviously, when you're internally broken, it's not the best time to start a business. When you're in a city where the first language is French, which I can speak very well, but like all the documents and paperwork and government admin stuff is only in French for some reason, and it's Québécois French. Also, not an ideal situation. And, in a city where I have great friends, but they're all new friends. And sometimes you just want to talk to people who've known you for a long time. And I don't have that either. Not an ideal situation. And so I would have a lot of dark nights of the soul, knowing that winter is coming, knowing that I need to eat, I need to survive. And Canadian winter, Montreal winter is no joke. It's one of the roughest ones in Canada. So I was like, I cannot be outside. I cannot be between places in Montreal winter. And I needed to figure this out. And so I kind of realized that there was something off. Like, I was just going over and over and over and over all the details of what had happened to me. And I was in my new life. I had new hair, new apartment, new city, new friends, and everything was great, but my internal world was crushed. It was not new. It was old. It was sad. It was going over and over the past, thinking, how am I so hurt? And nothing was snapping me out of it until I joined this like creator yoga challenge. And the Creator Yoga Challenge was this challenge where every day for 30 days you create some content. You know, you take a picture and you post it, or you make a TikTok, and then you work out. You have to like do some kind of exercise every day. So either yoga or running or whatever your thing is. And I think that's really what helped me. Through that challenge, I shifted out of survival mode, because I think that's what I was stuck in. My brain was just stuck in like survival. And I started to be more present, because I found a yoga studio near me that I was able to go to every single day and volunteer at, and I made friends there, and I made content there, and I made content at home because I was feeling better, and just my energy level started to go up again finally. And I think after that month I was like, okay, I felt a bit like I had more footing, secure footing, but it was still like 3 months in to me starting a business, and like my business was not that, like nothing major was happening with it. I was like meeting with people, but it wasn't like, I wasn't living off of it by any means. And so in December, I decided that, and I think it was because I didn't believe that I could make money from my creativity, or that I could make money as me. Like, I'm not a company, I'm a me. You know, I was like, how am I gonna make money? I'm just a person. And it I think being forced into it was, for me personally, the only way for me to actually learn the lesson. Like, some people might say, like, you know, this is crazy, this story, it's so traumatic and difficult, but like life will give you the lessons that go with your story. And for me personally, it was every single time I got fired, every single time I cried, it was a lesson. And I learned to depend on myself, and I learned to be true to myself every time, because it just so happened that for years I was not true to myself. So the smacks from the universe were stronger than maybe I would have liked, but they were well overdue, because I was just lying to myself by living a life that wasn't true to myself. So although it was rough, I think life eventually and I are on the same page. And so, yeah, so now we're even. So life is not hopefully going to smack me anymore. And now I have a business, and you know, that's its own journey, and I've had it since, I mean, I've been working part-time and doing content and stuff for years, but full-time I started a business, and now I work and run it and have clients remotely that I consult for social and marketing, and I'm able to be based anywhere, which is why I'm in Bali. And that's kind of what my channel is about now. My channel is about living your dream life and running business, money. I think I want to talk about money because it has affected me so much, as you guys can see and feel through my story. And also, besides money, you know, I want to talk about, you know, mindset stuff. I want to talk about alignment and being true to yourself. I just want to encourage you to not be like me and take 30 years and life to smack you to be true to yourself. If you have those pings in your spirit that say, I'm going the wrong way, you know, it's like that TikTok that says, like, you know, the longer you take the train in the wrong way, the more expensive the trip back. Just get on the next trip back, because it's going to take you a long time if you do it the other way. So that's where I've been. So in case you're wondering why I wasn't uploading, I was homeless, and I was at the darkest night of my soul life, and it's kind of hard to maintain a consistent upload schedule when you're fighting for survival. So hopefully things have stabilized now, and I can be here for you, because it really was something. I was sad not to be able to post and share with you guys, but as you can imagine, it's not the ideal time. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for giving me love, sending me love. I'm sending you twice as much back.